My name is Louise. I am a talent acquisition marketing specialist for Enterprise Rent a Car. I cover the northeast of England, so I cover 16 universities all the way up from Newcastle, and I think the lowest one I do is Nottingham, Hull kind of area. My sort of a little background about me, I started with the company in August 2019, so I haven't actually been with Enterprise for that long. However, I have had almost three promotions in that time, so it's something that we're really proud of as a company, in that we really do promote from within, and we do it very quickly as well. So yeah, I started as a graduate management trainee in August of 2019 in my local Darlington branch. I completed my 10-month graduate training program and was then promoted on to be the assistant branch manager of my Bishop Auckland branch. I actually opened that branch from it being closed throughout COVID, so it was a massive challenge, a great opportunity, and that succeeded really well. Following on from my sort of journey with my daily rental career, I've then just been transferred and promoted over to our talent acquisition team. So super excited to be able to work on projects like this. The reason I'm sort of here today is mainly I work in a very male-dominated environment. Enterprise is a rental car company. Anything to do with the automotive industry is always heavily, mainly a male-dominated working environment. So for me, it's very important for me to be here as a woman, to promote sort of diversity in the workplace, promote confidence in the workplace, and just believing in yourself, and having that confidence to be able to go up against the men, which I think is super important. So let's get started. I'll tell you a little bit about Enterprise, because not a lot of people know sort of who we are. So we are one of the largest global transportation industries in the world. We turn over about $23.9 billion in annual revenue. Got 75,000 plus employees across the world, 1.85 million vehicles, and we have 10,000 airport, rail station and neighbourhood locations across the world. So we really are huge. Now, a little bit about our products and services. Now, obviously, Enterprise is our brand, but we do have sub-brands beneath that. So Alamo and National, you might have seen them if you're going on holiday. They're more our European and our USA rental car hires. And then underneath Enterprise, we have Enterprise Car Club, which we're trying to promote a lot in universities. It is sort of an hourly car rental, check-in, check-out. We use a lot in universities. There's a lot of information on our website regarding that if you want to find out more. We've got Enterprise Rent a Car, which is the standard daily rental car hire, which myself and Aaron are involved in. Enterprise Flexi Rent, which is a lot of the HGVs, specialised vehicles, groundwork vehicles, that kind of thing. And then the fun part, which is the exotics, all of your Lamborghinis, your Porsches, the fun stuff which I'm not allowed to drive. Now, Enterprise, we are massive on our values. So we have 8 founding values, which you can see on the screen here. This is fundamentally taught from trainees, and then it's upheld all the way throughout the company. So our brand's the most valuable thing we own. We work hard, we reward hard work. Customer service is our way of life. Great things happen when we listen to our customers and to each other. Personal honesty and integrity are the foundations of our success. We strengthen our communities one neighbourhood at a time. Our company is a fun and friendly place where teamwork rules, and finally, our doors are always open. So, like I mentioned, this is taught from every stage of the company. It's something that we really, really are very passionate about. So yeah, as you can see on the screen, this is sort of the average journey of sort of an Enterprise career. So as you can see at the bottom, everyone starts as a management trainee at Enterprise. It's one of the things that is unique about us. We only promote from within, so no one external to the company can come in for a promotion. Everyone starts at the same base level as a trainee. They do, on average, about 10 months. You can complete it earlier if you want. You can take longer if you want to complete our training program. Once you've completed that, you can go on to be promoted into our branches, like myself as an assistant or a branch manager, or like Aaron as an area manager further along in your career. Group rental manager, regional vice president, the line's not long enough, you can go on to be CEO. Our current CEO was a graduate trainee, our previous one was an intern, so the opportunities are definitely there. Or like myself, when you get to assistant or branch manager level, you can branch out into our other areas of the business. So for example, HR, vehicle repair, management, risk management, sales, there's literally something for everyone there. If anyone is interested in getting involved, we do summer placements, we do internships, we do also do our graduate training program, which is what we're fundamentally known for. A little bit of an idea on the application process. You do your online application, you do a virtual or a phone interview at the moment. It used to be in person, but obviously COVID, everything went virtual. If that goes well, you'll be given the opportunity to go in for a branch placement. So again, it's a really unique thing we do. You get a couple of hours, half a day in one of our local branches to see whether you like it, see if it's a good fit, find out a little bit more about the business and the people that work there. If we like you and if you like us, you'll get offered a position and you can start full-time, full pay on our management training program. Sort of a rough idea of what we look for: customer service, basic customer service, whether you've worked in retail. I'd always worked in bars. It really helps being able to work in those environments. So customer service, just standard communication, being able to communicate with others and have that confidence, a good work ethic and flexibility. The job is predominantly sales-based and sort of the training side of things, so having good sales aptitude and leadership. We want to create future leaders. We want people to have that confidence for their career progression and their professional and personal development. So I'm now going to hand over to Aaron so he can chat to you a little bit about his experience. And yeah.
Thank you. So as mentioned, I'm Aaron. I'm an area manager in Yorkshire at the moment. I actually come from Manchester and travel up every day. I've been in enterprise for up to 9 years. I started off as a car prep. Now, I'll give you a little bit of background, but first, obviously look at the picture. It's me and my son, Kanan. It's me on holiday for my birthday in Anglesey, and that's where my mum's from, actually. We was on the pier that day and was doing some crab fishing. But the reason why I shared this picture, because this is what I look like day to day. I wear trainers, I wear a hat, I wear a body warmer. I don't always wear a suit. But when I stepped into enterprise in my application, on my assessment centre, because the application process is a little bit different then, I walked into a room full of corporate white Caucasian people, and I felt really uncomfortable. I felt like they were judging me. I felt like people were looking at me like the person in the picture, like a roadman or a person from the street. Because I am from Manchester, I'm from a poor area. I didn't grow up with silver spoon, which is nothing wrong with that. Some people have opportunities, and that's what I want to create for my son. But I got within myself in that interview process, and I didn't display the confidence that I have every single day. I know the reason why I chose this picture in particular is because I look good in the picture. My son's in the picture, and I was like, let me take the shine away from him, because everyone wants to see his hair, everyone wants to see how cute he is. But no, I look good in this picture. But I wanted to represent myself. I am a bit vain. I am confident. But again, in the interview process, I couldn't get that across. I was shy. I was within myself. I didn't display the qualities that I have. And for that reason, when I did apply for the grad scheme, I did get knocked back. But fortunately, I was called back to the customer service role. And in that time, I really took the opportunity, spoke to my branch manager at the time. I showed him what I had to offer. On a one-to-one, he understood me a little bit more. He could see my confidence day to day. And with a lot of work, he put me forward through to another assessment centre. In that assessment centre, I really took charge of myself. I really had to show that I wanted the opportunity, that I wanted to progress. Unfortunately, I got the role. And then from that point, I fast-tracked. I was a trainee for 6 months, where we expected it to be 10. I was an assistant manager for 10 months, when you expect it to be 12 to 18. But that wasn't without barriers. In that time, again, whenever I went to head office for training, spoke to senior managers, I still felt that they were looking at me like I was this guy, which I am, but in a negative light, like they thought I was ghetto or street, which maybe outside work I might come across as that, but that's where I'm from. And a lot of our ethnic employees or BAME employees, they may come across that way and they may feel that way. But if you see me today, I'm in a suit, nice suit, I look presentable, I look professional. I did have glasses with me, but I don't feel like I need, I can read the screen. But still, they're the negative connotations that come in your head. That's what we put on ourselves. And you know what? I realized through a lot of hard work, which I'll demonstrate in a minute, that a lot of it was in my head. Some of it was rightly thought of, because some people do have that perception of you. But a lot of it, I put that perception on myself. I put a negative stereotype on other people for what they thought about me when they didn't even think that. So, as I mentioned, when I'd go to training centres, I'd keep myself to myself. I wouldn't really engage. I'll speak when spoken to. And as you can see, I am confident. I don't mind speaking. But I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I didn't want people to judge my accent. I didn't want people to judge me from where I'm from, essentially. So I progressed to branch manager, and a lot of that was to do with performance, not personality, because no one knew my personality in work. Everyone knew me from work, just drive and performance. They didn't know that I like to think I'm funny. They didn't know that I'm annoying and irritate my team, but in a funny way. They didn't know like I like kicking a football around the office. They just saw me as this serious guy. I can just drive numbers day to day. So as a branch manager, I was knocking on the door for an area manager role. And I was a branch manager for about 4 or 5 years. And that's around about right. You can do a lot quicker. You can get to the next stage quicker. With my numbers, I should have done it a lot quicker. And I'd always go to my senior managers, which is a city manager, and I'd ask them, where do you see me? Where do you see me in the company? Like, what's my barriers to getting to the next step? And my current manager now, funnily enough, he said to me, Aaron, you're just too serious. When I see you at head office or a retreat or training, you're just too serious. I don't know whether I can have a laugh with you. I don't know why your team buy into you. But the reason why he thought that is because I didn't want to show myself to him because I thought he would judge me. I thought he would think, I'm not professional. I'm the angry black guy if I challenge him. Where in reality, day to day, I said to him, I'm a joker. I'm a clown in the office. I like messing around. I like cracking on people. And he's like, well, I don't see that. I was like, okay, fair enough. Like, that's your perception of me. And that's what I put out there because I was putting a negative stereotype on other people for what they thought of me. So we did like a training center and you got matched up with an area manager as a branch manager and they give you 360 feedback. And again, Claire, who's now a city manager, said, Aaron, your performance is amazing. Your numbers are great. Your team love you, which I don't know why, because again, I don't see you having a laugh. I don't see you having a joke. You come to these events and you don't speak to anyone. And for me, in my head, it was always because I didn't feel I was in the right place. I felt out of place because of where I come from. I felt, again, that I was being judged, but that wasn't the case. That was, it was just me placing that because of what experience I felt growing up in the area I come from. And I still experience things such as being pulled over because of the way I look. Going into a shop and people asking me, should you be here? Because of the way I look. Because I look like that on a day-to-day basis where there's nothing wrong with that. But because I wear that, people might think I'm a certain way, So the work I had to do, I had to really get a lot of face time with my manager. He's called Kieran. He was our city manager. I had an area manager who's really supportive. He knew me day to day, but my city manager only saw me on occasion. So the work I had to do is kept on asking for feedback. What do you think? What do you think? And he was always say serious, serious, serious. So I had to show him that I was funny. I had to show him that I like to joke. I had to show him that I'm not just a serious guy that just sits there and just types all day. So I invited him to my store. I spoke to his managers, so a lot of area managers. I asked for their feedback on me. I asked to be in the meetings with him, and I just started drip feeding my personality. And to be honest with you, it was difficult because I had to share a lot of myself that I didn't show before. I had to really put myself out there to be shut down, essentially. And in the end, he learned about me. He got to know me. A lot of people got to know me in the company. A lot of people from head office, in talent, in remarketing, in a lot of the other departments in the company. They only saw me as this professional person. They didn't know what I was like. And I really stepped outside my comfort zone. I had to do a lot of self-reflection. I used my closest people. One of the people I would use is my best friend, Kane. Went to college with him. And my brother. He's 4 years younger than me. But they're the two people I would really, really ask for honest feedback and advice. They would tell me what I was thinking was right or wrong. And but when I was applying for area manager roles, I fell into the trap again. I felt I'm going to get judged. Because at the time when I went to apply for the first area manager role that came out, I had cane rolls and braids. And I was speaking to my friend, I was like, I'm going to apply for this position. I think I'm going to have to cut my hair. Because they're just going to see a black person on the screen and they're not going to take me serious. I'm going to really have to do better, like extra than the next person to even be considered at the same level. And I really thought that would be a thing. And I spoke to Claire Bainham, she's in the talent team, about this because this was about a year ago. She goes, well, how would you even think something like that? And I look back and I was thinking, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, you're crazy. But this is the type of things that people think about. Accents, the way they look, hairstyles, the words they use. And at the end of the day, what I found is if I'm myself, I can say certain words, I can be myself, I can be loud, I can be proud. People are accepting of it, and a lot of people are intimidated in the correct way about it because it's a display of confidence, it's a display of power, and that's what I found in my journey so far.
So now sort of the idea is to open the floor to any questions for either myself, sort of from the male-dominated women sort of side of things, and then obviously to Aaron and his journey. So yeah, anyone in the chat or in the room that would like to ask some questions, more than happy.
Yeah, I can start. Yeah. Question yet? I'm just waiting for Simon's voice coming through the speakers in here. So just kind of like from both of you, really, because like I said, you're looking at different kind of points of view, and different groups together. What advice would you give to a graduate who might walk into either the interview or the assessment centre and all of a sudden straight away feels, well, this feels weird, this don't, you know, and kind of goes into that shell, if you like, that you describe that. But what advice would you give to somebody to kind of come out of that shell a little bit more? To do so?
From me personally, I have always suffered quite badly with social anxiety in situations like that. A lot of imposter syndrome, a lot of why have I got to where I am. And I have been very successful in my career, the same as Aaron. And I think the best advice that I can give is fake it till you make it in these situations. And also believe that you're there for a reason. I'm a firm believer that opportunities are handed to you because you've worked hard to be in that position. If someone has seen that talent in you and they've recognized that, you're there because they believe that you have the qualities fit for that role or that graduate program or something along those lines. And to just have courage and the conviction that you're there for a reason. And at the end of the day, if you don't get the job, if you don't get the placement, that job wasn't right for you, and the right job will come along in the future. And if you do get it, then great, fab, move on to that next stage of your career. But genuinely, I just think having the confidence in your abilities, it is the biggest thing. Go in there, you know, with the faith that you're there for a reason. You're there because you're qualified to do that role. You're there because someone that is above you has recognised your potential. And that really is all you can do. And if you don't have that, fake it. Fake that you've got the confidence, and you'll go in there and no one knew otherwise. I was absolutely terrified before this, and I don't think that's coming across. So literally just have the confidence, and that is my best advice on that one. About you, Aaron.
No, I totally agree. I think the main thing is, though, you've always got to remember that you make your own luck.
Yeah. Everything
happens for a reason, so if it didn't happen, wasn't meant to be. So you make your own luck. Fake it till you make it is really good, because when you are faking it, you realise that you can do it. Like, you actually are doing the thing that you're faking to do. So that's definitely good advice. But yeah. Wow.
I don't know if there's any other questions from the chat or if anyone else.
Yeah, we've got some questions here. I was just patiently waiting in case anybody in the room was putting their hand up.
But, no, we're all good.
Oh, good, right. So I've got a question from Aria, which is what advice would you give about asking questions at the end of an interview? I've always been asked if I have any questions to ask them and can never think of what to say.
First one that I was always told to ask is, can I have the job? That's definitely the first one. But any concerns that you might, have in a day, always ask that, so you can, decide whether it's right for you or not. Because sometimes we go into opportunities blind and end up thinking it's not the right thing. But questions, what do you need to display to be the best person for the role when you're in the role? Always talk about future tense. So always talk about that you're going to get the role, and talk yourself into it rather than talking yourself out of it.
Yeah, I always have sort of 3 set questions that I ask. Number one are what are your expectations of me in this role? So it gives them a chance to say what they're expecting of you, and then you can hit that back with, okay, well, I can demonstrate this by doing X, Y, and Z. That's always the first one that I normally ask. The second is, do you have any concerns about me? Because that gives the opportunity then to shoot them down. If they say, we're concerned about your lack of experience, or we're concerned that you don't have the qualification in a certain degree subject, you've got the opportunity then to put their minds at rest. You don't want them to leave that interview room with any sort of worries about you. So the best thing to do, it might be a bit of an uncomfortable question to ask, but say, what are your concerns about me? Is there any box that I don't tick? And then when they say it, it gives you the opportunity to just shoot that down. Yeah, I think they're maybe my two main ones, is what I would ask.
That's really great advice. Thanks, guys. Hopefully that was helpful, Aria. I've got a few questions as well, if that's okay. So, Louise, I wanted to ask, why are you not allowed to drive the Lamborghinis and Ferraris? Because you said that quite early in your presentation. So I was wanting to know, why is that?
Number one, I don't think they would trust me to do that. I think I had when I was in daily rental, I think I had the most employee accidents out of all of the trainees. Actually, funny story, my second week in rental, my then assistant manager had said to me, she was getting promoted out of daily rental and she was getting a company car. She said, Louise, you're super, careful and considerate. Can you go and pick my company car up for me? It's at Newcastle Airport. So I went up to go and get it, panicked, pressed the accelerator rather than the brake and went straight through an airport barrier. The barrier came down, the front of the car was wrecked, and I thought I was going to get sacked. But yeah, so that's probably why. And also, I don't think I would want to drive them. I think I'd be too nervous. I'd like to, though.
Thanks, Louise. I don't know what car you drive, Aaron, but I might as well ask you while I'm on this question.
Well, I actually drive an electric car. I was talking about it before. I'm playing, well, can't call fuel roulette anymore, but my battery's on like 17%. So currently thinking how I'm going to get home to Manchester. So yeah.
There might be somebody in media services that can help you with batteries. We've got some really cool colleagues in there that might be able to help you. Once my battery died on my car and they had to come out with the whole equipment and they got it started. So I'm sure they can help you.
To be jogging home.
Yeah. So I've got another question, and actually this was related to in relation to what you said, Aaron. And you talked about being your whole self, right? Being your whole self in your workplace, and how you didn't do that for quite some time. And then once you did, how much comfort and reassurance and confidence you kind of developed, I suppose, in your own self. And it's really interesting because part of the project that we've been running all year, we've had a campaign where we've been getting people to compile videos called Whole Self In. And what it is that people create a short video just talking about themselves and who they are and things that are important to them in terms of their background, identity, culture, all sorts of things. And it just really resonated with that project in terms of what you said. And I just think that we need to do so much more of that in our workplace, don't we? About feeling comfortable in our own skin and being who we are. And what I would describe as bringing your whole self into work. So I just wanted to say thank you, for sharing your own experiences and your insights into that.
No, I appreciate that. And I think it's important because, I've tend to have the mantra, if you don't like it, you can leave it. So I think that's important as well, because you've got to display who you are all the time. So that sounds great what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you. And we might come to you, Aaron and Louise, to do your videos for our project. We'd love to have your whole self included in that. And then another thing that you mentioned was about self-reflection, which I found really interesting. And I suppose what would be really helpful for the group would be just give us a couple of your top tips around how to self-reflect. And Louise, I don't know if you might want to come in as well, but yeah, just some top tips about how to self-reflect as a professional, as a practitioner, as a learner,
So the main thing for me is you've just really got to be honest. If you're not good at something, then you've got to be honest with yourself and find a way how to improve. If you are great at something, celebrate it and be proud of that you're good at something. So that is one of the things that I had to work on. What was I good at? What was I bad at? What did I really need to work on? And how was I going to do that? And if I couldn't do it, you can do it. I'm finding answers. And a lot of it was just, sometimes for public speaking, like I've always been confident to talk, but I would record myself and then listen back to it and then see what words flow, works and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different things you can do. But in terms of self-reflection, it's just really being really honest with yourself, what you're great at, what you're not great at, and how you can be better.
Yeah, I think I can sort of add to that in that kind of what I mentioned before, suffering quite a lot with imposter syndrome throughout my career. Like I mentioned, my career was kind of fast-tracked a lot faster than what I was expecting. I've always doubted myself and my ability ever since I was young. And then moving into, like I mentioned, a very male-dominated work environment, it was quite hard to believe in myself a lot of the time because I'm surrounded by these really powerful guys that are also self-assured and confident. And there was me, little old Louise in the corner. I was the only female in my branch, and it was kind of hard sometimes to be heard in that environment. And for me, maybe I overcompensated a little bit by being maybe a bit too loud and a bit too cocky and, you know, trying to get my voice out there. But it did take a lot of self-reflection for me to realize that I've got to where I am because I've worked hard and because I've, you know, tried hard for the last, you know, 5-6 years in my degree and then work. And just to believe that I'm here for a reason. I find writing it down a lot if I get lost in my thoughts as, you know, I'm not good enough, I shouldn't be in this position, I'm here because of a fluke, because of luck. I write down all the things I've done to get to where I am, and it makes me recognize, no, actually, I have worked hard, it's not a fluke, it's not luck, I'm here for a reason. And I'm a big believer in writing things down. I think it really helps sort of sort out the jumbled thoughts in your head a little bit.
That's good. I also talk to myself quite a lot, which sounds weird, but I do. I have quite a lot of long drives or like time spent with myself, and I'll just talk to myself, thinking, okay, that was good today, or that wasn't so good, or I need to change this, or what am I going to do next, and how I'm going to get to the next thing. And I'll do a lot of just talking to myself all the time.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, guys. I mean, those are just some really fantastic, concrete, practical tips that we can take forward. And I do a lot of the talking to myself stuff as well, Aaron, so I can really relate to that. And is with you, you know, being a female in a very male-dominated environment, I can understand that as well. And just wanted to say, it's International Women's Day next Tuesday as well. So what a great platform it is hearing from you today as a woman, a successful woman in a difficult set of circumstances. And just wanted to celebrate that as well. So thanks, guys. That was brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you. Just moving on from the International Women's Day thing, Enterprise have a virtual event next Tuesday. Everything's on our website. We have loads of talks and podcasts and activities there with some really inspirational women. So if anyone wants to tune in, it's on our website, and click the link and you can join in. I'm also going to pop a little QR code in the chat. Anyone that's interested in our graduate opportunities, scan that code, pop your details in, and someone will be in touch with some more if it's something that you're interested in. But yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. We've loved it.
Anyone else got any questions? Don't be afraid to ask.
Yes.
Sorry. So have you ever had to deal with people that maybe aren't so nice and are quite judgmental, and how you would deal with it? So if they have got something to say about your accent or the way you are, how would you deal with that?
Yeah, for me, there's a couple of ways you can deal with it. I've dealt with quite a lot of people like that. You can either shoot back and then judge them, which sometimes works and kind of backs them down, but it's not always the right thing to do. Two negatives, you know. You can take it on and be accepting that that's what people are going to do. I think, okay, because, you know, people will look at you and have a snapshot of what they think. So be prepared for that and own it. That's the main thing. Like I was saying before, I'm short, and I know I'm short. And I always talk about it because sometimes people will try and clown on me for being short. Like, but I'm not too fussed because I make up for it in other areas. You know, I think it's a good thing anyway. Small, dark, and handsome. That's what I always say. But you just got to own it before someone else kind of uses it against you and then batters you with it. Just so on. Yeah.
Definitely. And I think as well, kill them with kindness. Just genuinely, I've been in situations a lot of times where I have a bit of a weird accent for my area. I'm from Darlington, but I have a really weird posh twang. And a lot of people, when they meet me, say that, you know, they think I'm maybe a bit stuck up, a bit, you know, a bit posh and, you know, self-centered. And quite a lot of times when people have been given their first impressions of me, that's what they say. And that always breaks my heart because I think I'm a very nice person. So I think genuinely, kill them with kindness. Anyone that has anything nasty or hurtful to say isn't even worth the time in your thoughts to, you know, even give it a second thought. You're the best reflection of you. You're the only person that knows who you truly are. And as long as you're displaying that, that's all that matters. And anyone else has anything to say otherwise, kill them with kindness. That's my advice.
Last thing I'd say on that, so I would use it as fuel as well.
Definitely.
I'm really competitive. So when someone will be like, "Oh, you're from here. What are you doing here? Oh, you're speaking like that. You don't belong here." I'm like, "All right, cool. Let me show you." Won't say anything. I just come back and just show that I'm better than that person in all aspects. So yeah.
We've got another question in the online chat. So we've got, what recommendations do you have to overcome imposter syndrome?
It's difficult because, you know, as you speaking, I was thinking I bought a car for Christmas and it was a nice car. And I drove it home. I was like, do I belong in this? It's like, oh, I've got to take it to my mum's house. What's my mum going to say? She's going to say, oh, God, I've spent too much on this. It's like, do I deserve it? I got promoted. I was like, I knew I deserved it, but I was like, they're going to take it away from me. It's like, you just got to really believe, and, you know, you've worked hard. Like, you are where you are for a reason. You know, you deserve what you get. You get what you deserve. Yeah, what you put in, you get out. So you've got to believe that.
100%, 100%. And I always think as well, kind of back to what I was saying earlier, it's, you just got to have courage and the conviction that you're there for a reason. And you've got there because of your own abilities, and it's so hard to dull that little voice in your head that says you're not good enough, you're here because of this reason, not because you're worthy. It's so easy to let those thoughts override your head, and it is just about telling them to shut up and just know that you are there because you are the best, and you were there. Like when I went up for this job, for example, I was up against some really competent people that have been with the company for, you know, 5, 6, 10 plus years. I've only been with the company for less than 3. I went into that interview thinking, I'm here for the experience. I'm here because it's a good opportunity for me to see what this interview is like. I am not going to get it. And then when I got the call saying I got the job, I thought they were joking. I was really shocked as to how I managed to get that. And I had to sort of dull that little voice in my head that was saying, you know, it's a fluke, they've got it wrong, blah, blah, blah. And just think, no, you know, I'm here because I worked super hard for this, and be proud of that. Don't let that sort of dull the good news.
That's great. Thanks so much, Louise and Aaron. I think that's probably it from the chat. We don't have any more questions or hands from this side. Can I just say thanks so much, by the way, for coming and sharing with us. It's been really, really fantastic for me to hear from both of you as industry experts, advice and tips that you provided to our students who are here today, and also to staff as well, because these are all things that we can use for our own self-development, whether a member of staff or a student. And just, you know, really important kind of practical tips that we can use going forward to build our community at LTU, which is what we want to do more of. So thanks so much, Aaron, and thanks so much, Louise. Yeah.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's been fab.
Any more questions from the room? No? Cool, awesome. Yeah, I'll come and close it. Thank you, Sarah, for running it for us.
Thank you very much.
As I come onto the camera now. So thank you so much. And again, thank you to Louise and Aaron for their talk. So yeah, we'll finish it there, and yeah, free to go. Thank you very much.